Oh, hi, hello. You got something there for me? Why do I feel kind of bad for this? Whoa! This game contains explicit images and content that may be disturbing or triggering to some audiences. Guys, what have you gotten me into? So yeah, you guys were telling me all up about this. A visual novel? Like old times? But the thing is, the developer has stressed that he only wants 18s and over to play this. If you're younger than that, he don't want it. He don't want it. He is really stressing that. So please respect his words and please respect his rules. And also, if you want to download this, you have to go over and support him on the Patreon. All links in the description down below. And we're only allowed to play day one. If we're doing it for a YouTube video, as we are doing here, we are only allowed to play day one. I don't know when we are allowed to actually do a YouTube video on day two. But if you guys enjoy this and want to see more, and when we are allowed to show off day two, you know what to do. My life has been chaotic. Are we a man or are we a female? Are we a boy or are we a girl? Do we have a thing or do we have a... My family broke out into another fit of drama, so I left the nest, ran straight to college and got an apartment and a job. But lately my job at a greasy spoon diner has been unbearable. The job doesn't pay the best, so that meant I had to find a roommate to afford an apartment. Is this where the boyfriend comes in, or is it someone else? And now my roommate is always bringing some dropout into our apartment for late night study sessions. My sleep schedule is wrecked, and even better, the rent on the apartment is late. I had heard once that if you become a roommate with a friend, you won't stay friends for long. Dang! I mean, I've never been through that, so I don't know. I'm here with my girl, I'm here with my partner, so... I mean, things have been going well, you know, I'm living out with her, but with a particular friend, no, never really experienced that. And in my case, the friendship gets strained thinner as my friend keeps making excuses why they need me to cover their half of the rent. Yeah, I suppose if it's going that way, if you're both kind of struggling to pay your ways, then you are going to break into arguments and your friendship is, as it says there, going to get thinner, going to get more strained and whatnot. I can believe it. Thanks to that deadbeat, I'm working harder just to lose my money on the rent. I'm nearly broke and getting a second job feels like it will kill me. At least in this part, I have some alone time. Until... Where's the boyfriend? The creep? When's it get weird? I've always loved this part of the park. It's untouched by obnoxious family members and college jerks. The only people who come here are the groundskeepers. Even them, they only come by in the morning. Closing my eyeballs, I rub my face and hub out the tension in my lungs so that I could calm down to enjoy the peace and quiet. Just then, I feel someone sit down beside me. Is this strange BF? Startled, I turn and look towards the interloper. Oh, there he is!
Hey,
the art
take
star.
it easy, it's just me.
Oh, there's voice acting? How did I know about all the rules of this game and what days to play and what age you need to be and then not know there's voice acting? The style, it reminds me of like FNAF, but we can only flirt. If you guys are OGs and remember us playing that, I mean, it was only like a year ago, but before FNF at least, if you watched before Friday Night Funkin', the stranger says trying to keep you from leaping too high off of the park bench.
You're a jumpy one, aren't you?
Well, yeah, because you just randomly appeared with your shiny, bald head and your very darkened eyeballs. He smiles and scoots himself closer to me, shyly and awkwardly. He doesn't seem so shy. He seems kind of brave to just come up to a stranger like that. I keep my eyes on him, unsure what his intentions are. His unblinking eyes don't stray from mine, not once.
So, are you waiting for a family member or a friend?
No, we were just relaxing, man. Taking in the air, taking in the space, taking in the fact that no one was here. But then suddenly someone was here. A chill runs down my spine. I cross my arm over my chest and slide myself away from him and closer to the edge of the bench. How often does a sane person walk up to you out of the blue and start asking such questions? Not often. For me at least. He picks up on my unease and refrains from sliding any closer. He crosses his fingers in between his legs and smiles warmly. Okay, randomly he's not talking right now. I mean, you don't look like a groundskeeper or one of the old people feeding pigeons after doing Tai Chi. Oh, we're actually speaking to him right now. No, I'm just getting some alone time to myself. Things have been pretty intense lately. He scoots himself even closer. He keeps getting close! His hand nearly touching mine as he smiles shyly. Get away from me!
Look, I know this is sudden. Very sudden. But if you're free tonight, can I have the pleasure in taking you out to dinner?
Well, I'm hungry, so... Can I have the pleasure? Never mind. He was the weird one. I can't tell if he's a bit awkward or just eccentric. What? Why? Why did he have such an interest in me?
Well,
It's because he's the boyfriend. He actually said it. Excuse... Where do you get off? What is happening right now?
Isn't that why you're here?
Wait, hold up. What? We are so confused. My boyfriend? Why would he be assuming we were in a relationship? There's an awkward silence as the stranger sits patiently waiting for my answer. Oh, dang, we got a timer. Dinner does sound nice. What? No. Let's say what? No. Like, this guy's kind of a freak right now. What? No! I put my hand away from his. I thought that I would normally try to at least attempt to be polite when I turn down someone's advance, but the stranger's presumptuousness makes my skin crawl. He sits there for a moment with a firm stare before pulling his hand away in a reluctant retreat. Dang. Oh, I see. I think I'm getting mixed messages from you. Why is he randomly not voice acted here and there? I'm kind of confused. I mean, it doesn't make much sense for you to come here and then not want me. Yeah, I think you're getting very, very many messages that are very much wrong. I stand up from the bench and turn to leave. Hopefully I can get back to the more frequented parts of the park before any other creeps crawl out from under the rocks and bushes. Where are you going? He stares back at me from the bench, but I can't read his expression. It is a tempest of mixed emotions, and none of them are as positive or playfully awkward as when I first met him. It's getting late. I'm going home. I lied. I glanced over my shoulder to find the nearest path out the park and to the nearest public street. Oh, well, maybe I can walk you home then. No, thank you. Look, it's nothing personal, but you're coming off as kind of creepy, and I'm not really that comfortable around you. Dang. Do we want to prod this dude? Because we only know it's going to get weirder from here. Do we want to start off like this, you know? We know this guy's going to go all weird, so... I don't know. He rubs his arm awkwardly. Creepy, but why is he not speaking anymore? But No! Don't say the L word. Don't say the L word. You've already called yourself the boyfriend. And that was weird enough. To make it more strange. Sorry, I have to go. I cut him off and start walking away, occasionally looking over my shoulder. I don't want him creeping up on me while my back was turned. He never moves. He just sits there with a forlorn look on his face and stares quietly at the ground. Dang. I'm thinking we should girl it up. I don't know, change the voices, you know? Maybe I should just pretend I'm a girl? Maybe, we could do that. I wander around the city a little bit more, visit places I normally wouldn't visit. You guys can let me know if you want us to go all girl, or if we play this next time, maybe go back to just kind of my normal voice. My paranormal has got me looking over my shoulder, wondering if he might still be lurking somewhere behind me. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking things. So yeah, when it comes to the full kind of text here, we can just do a normal voice, and then when it comes to regrets actually speaking with the name regrets over, that can be the girl voice there. But who knows? Some guy who presumes that he's your boyfriend before either of you even know each other's names is probably not the most psychologically healthiest of people, are they? Yeah, it is a little odd. Yeah, that's creepy enough to warrant him my cold shoulder. Still, the way I left him behind like that was making me feel like maybe I was a jerk. I don't know, though. I mean, who does that? Who actually does that? I don't know. I come across a local florist shop that I remember passing on a few of my downtown walks. I've always been meaning to stop in and pick some flowers for the apartment, but I could never seem to find the time. Well, I have time now and I could use a diversion, so why not? Alright, in we go! Let's smell those scents! Let's get all that nature up in those nostrils. I love it, I do. Walking in, I look around and take in the rather pleasant aroma of the shop. I wander past the quaint displays of flower arrangements, potted plants, and small gift bags of potpourri I had particularly purchased in mind. From a rustic wooden shelf display containing the flowers and various houseplants come a lovely pungent fragrance from the deep red rose. Alright. being mindful that some still had their thorns. I reach out to pick one up. I feel a hand brush against mine. No, he's back! I mean, this is probably the only dude we're ever gonna see in this. Like, he just appears at every, like, scenario and occasion and place we go to. He's just this weirdo that we just can't get rid of. And he's very insistent, too. A very insistent weirdo. I pull my hand away quickly and glance at the person that I didn't see on the other side of the display. I wonder if this time, like, if it is him, which I'm, like, 99% sure, if he is going to remember the whole park thing, or if he's going to kind of start fresh and act like we've never seen him, like, up until this point. Let's find out.
Oh, fancy seeing you here.
There he is! See? Like, what? The man from the park beams upon seeing me and gives me a smile before pulling the rose out. I didn't know you shopped here too. I don't, I say, startled by his presence. The man then gestures to me with a finger over his lips. Shh, it's a small shop. There's no need to raise your voice. His comment rubs me the wrong way, but I try to compose myself. Did you follow me here? I whisper harshly, unsure if crossing paths with him again was a pure coincidence, or if I needed to worry about him after all. What? Of course not. Does he even know about the whole woods thing and what we said back there? Again, maybe he's like starting fresh. Maybe he kind of doesn't know, you know? He looks a little hurt by my accusation. I come here almost every day, you know. Yep, at the perfect time that we came here too. Fan-flippin-tastic. And by that, I mean not fan-flippin-tastic. Was I really being a jerk to him? He fumbles around with the rose in his hand, and his eyes stay shyly focused on the ground. He's gonna be giving me that rose, isn't he? It's gonna be his cute little BF present. From BF to GF. Or whoever the heck we are. BF. Something, someone, I don't know. I guess we're a girl right now. We were a man earlier, and now we're a girl. We can change it. We can change it just like that. I love flowers. This little shop is the only one nearby, so I come here a lot to see what new bouquets they have made, and if they have any on sale. I'll admit that sometimes I get a glimpse of you through the windows of the diner that you work at. Okay, maybe he is just a freak completely, and lately I've been meaning to walk in to finally say hi, but I lose my nerves and stay out. I guess that's not too bad. You've been watching me? You've been watching me? Are you serious? What kind of creep are you? But it's not like that. He reaches his hand out towards my shoulder in an attempt to console and calm me down. Not wanting his greasy, grubby hands anywhere on me, I flinch away in shock and disgust. It seems like there's options that can go more towards like kind of liking him and accepting what he's saying. So I think that'll be a really good like possible alternative route that we could do after this one. But for now, I think I'm gonna just kind of choose more of the stay away options and the ones that, well, basically show that he's an absolute freak. Don't touch me. I hiss at him. And then turn and storm out of the florist shop. I don't look back. Why do I feel kind of bad for this very... His hand was bleeding then. Was it bleeding before? It's finally getting dark out. I hate walking home at night. And after crossing paths with a crazy stalker, I have a good reason for it. And now I'm out later than I wanted because I was trying to take a longer, less traveled path home, just in case that creepy guy knew more about my habits. I need to find new places to hang out at, and probably a new job. I don't think that's gonna work. He's gonna be everywhere you go. Everywhere. I storm into the apartment and slam the door behind me before doing another full body shudder. I hear the rummaging sound of my roommate and the study partner in the kitchen come to an abrupt silence after I unceremoniously arrive home. I race back to my bedroom. They have a habit of walking around naked after their study sessions. What? Study sessions? What? Naked? They must be learning a lot. In my room, I flop down on my bed and muffle a frustrated scream with my pillow. After a moment, I roll over on my back and stare up at the ceiling, trying to forget about my day. Trying to forget about him. Before I fall asleep from sheer exhaustion, my last thought was a simple wish. He better not just pop up while we're sleeping. Man, I hope I never see that weirdo again. Your wish is probably completely not granted, by the way. 100% not granted. End of day one. What? What? I want to see more. I want to see more! Whoa! What the flip? Okay, so what we're gonna do now, because that ended a lot quicker than I thought, is go for the more positive answers to him. Okay, so we're gonna accept the dinner. We're gonna see where that leads and see what the heck happens. Sure. I guess it's not like I'm doing anything anyways, and it would be a nice break from the monotony. God knows if I could stand to forget my problems for a few hours. And this guy seems interesting enough to keep my mind off things. Probably shouldn't be investing our time and should not be calling him interesting. Really shouldn't. Don't let him get closer than he's already got. Just don't. He doesn't even know us and he's already close enough. For God's sake. What's going to happen when we let him in? Seriously, when we let him out, he was already practically next to the door. It didn't matter. He was already knocking it away. But now we've actually let him in. Oh God, it's only going to get worse. Really? That's great. He beams, taking hold of my hand into his own. I'll see you tonight at 7. Alright. He was about to stand up from the bench, but pauses abruptly when he realizes that he was forgetting something. Oh, I almost forgot. We need a place to meet up. Sorry. I know that I should. I know that I sound absent-minded, but I'm just so excited. How about that old diner downtown? It's nice and quiet, so no one will disturb us. The diner downtown? Which one? She did mention that she worked at a diner, so are we going to be going to the one we worked at? You know, the one that you work at. Oh, okay. Great, see you tonight. Why would you... For goodness sake. And just like that, he hurries off with a leap in every step, looking as though he had just won the lottery. Wow. I watch him as he appears down a path that bends around a shallow hill and out of view. I mean, he kind of did. I mean, what's the chances of you going up to someone alone in the woods and then they actually accept your offer to have dinner with them? I'm pretty sure that's a rarity. Even more rare than winning the lottery. The park was quiet again, and the serene loneliness sets in once more. It's just me and a few songbirds singing in the nearby tree. I sit for a while, replaying the strange encounter in my head a few times. I suppose that I should be flattered that he took such an interest in me. I can't tell if meeting someone like that is normal or not. It's nothing like I've seen in movies or television. But then again, if I were Hollywood attractive, maybe it would be so normal that it would be almost annoying. I feel my cheeks flush as I think about him saying, "Can I have the pleasure?" Wait, they actually are into this now. What? I guess we've allowed them to be into this, so now, yeah, they are totally into this. A shy smile creeps from the corners of my mouth. He must be as new to this as I am. What a shy, awkward guy. What the heck? The bird stops singing as I feel a knot grow in the pit of my stomach. How did he know where I work? I show up at the diner, feeling rather unusual about meeting someone at the place that I work at for a completely spontaneous dinner date. And with a complete stranger who knew that I worked here? Weird. I take a seat at a booth towards the back. The diner isn't very busy tonight, which is less unusual than most people would assume. Even though I work here, this isn't where I would choose to eat at. Maybe it was another customer that I had never paid attention to, which I highly doubt, by the way, but alright then. While I work, I let my mind drift, and after a while, I do my job as if I were on autopilot. I don't really pay that much attention to names and faces, even towards regulars. Maybe he was one of these regulars, building up his courage to ask me out every day, but kept losing his nerve. It's kind of a cute thought, but do I really want this to be a thing? No, you don't. I might as well buy myself a milkshake while I wait. The waitress on tonight's shift is surprised to see me at the diner on my day off. I thought this guy would be bright and early, you know? I imagined that she would tell me, "Job loyalty is one thing, but the food here isn't worth writing home about." After serving this stuff for a few months now, I agree with her. But at least the milkshakes are good. They are the really old-fashioned kind, made with real ice cream and ingredients, and not the powdered mix and flavoured syrups like the fast food places. The waitress must have been less busy than I assumed, because she brought my shake to me only a few minutes later. I pull the spoon from the vintage-looking ice cream glass and lick it clean. Oh, so good. I stir out the shake a little before I take a sip. A man rushes in through the diner's front doors. He looks like he ran the whole way here with something tucked carefully in his arm. I immediately recognized his sleeveless hoodie and blue shirt. He quickly scanned the diner in a bit of a panic. He was running late and probably thought that I may have already left. I was one of the few people in the diner, but he still didn't seem to see me very quickly. I wave him over. A smile of relief spreads across his face. Still winded, he hurries down the rows of booths and sits across mine. How does he not know? He stalks me every day. How did he not know I was here? Oh, hi, hello. You got something there for me? You're late. I know. I'm so sorry. I had to make a quick stop. He speaks between breaths. I don't know where he came from, but he must have ran the whole way when he realized that he was running late. Giving a timid smile, pulls out the long white box that he was carrying. He places it on the table and slides it over to me. Here, I bought this for you. I was thinking about earlier today in the park. It might have been a little creepy to ask you for a date on the spot. Oh, you don't say! The creep admits the creep. I can't believe it. I thought I might get you a little something as a way of apologizing. If it was awkward for you, of course. You got something for me? Really? It had better not be a severed ear or fingers or something. Opening the box, I look inside. I see 2 long stem roses with deep red petals. The thorns are removed, and they are bound by a shimmering black silk ribbon. Oh, roses? Seriously? Oh, they're lovely, thank you. He smiles as I take the roses out of the box gently, as if the thorns were still in the stems. I draw the aroma in deeply. They are so wonderfully fresh and fragrant. It's no bouquet or anything, but I thought they looked nice. He watches me admire his gift. They are very nice, thank you. I place the roses gently back in their box. He can't possibly grin any wider. He realizes that he is staring at me, maybe just as little too long for comfort. So he reverts his eyes shyly. Yeah, those big bulbous eyeballs and that abnormally large grin. That inhumanly large grin. It looks a little strange, can you stop? But there were a few nagging questions that had been hanging over me like a storm cloud. And while he was in a good mood, I figured that I should inquire a little about this cute but bizarre stranger. Dinner in a greasy spoon diner with a stranger carrying a box of roses didn't seem ordinary, and I had to make sure that he wasn't going to propose at the cash register. I stirred the milkshake with the straw for a second or two. So, how did you know that I work here? Oh, well, I walk by this place rather often on my walks. It's weird because he talked with voice acting, and then he just doesn't. He just does it when he feels like it. Well, I walk by this place rather often on my walks. I catch a glimpse of you through the window from time to time when you're working. I tried coming in, but I got cold feet and just kept walking. Like a loser. He glares down at the table shamefully. I reach over and give his hand a reassuring pat. Do it hard. Pat him real hard. No, you're not a loser. Do you know what? I don't even know your name. He's not going to say boyfriend, is he? My name? The smile on his face fades into a slight grimace before his gaze drifts off to the side. I really don't like my name. Honestly, I'd rather be called something else, like a nickname or something. Okay. How about Bullbag? He's in place of what I came up with! Yeah, that's much better. Honestly, thank you. Even though he's an absolute creep, and we all know what's going to happen. Like, it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder. I just feel bad that I called him that. I reassure him and give his hand another gentle squeeze. Oh man, we're touchy. The expression of disgust instantly evaporates into delight over the name I gave him. Wow, I didn't realize until now, but he has some really beautiful blue eyes. The vivid color left me taken in their deep blue hue. I didn't realize that I was staring until he spoke up. Yep, those beautiful blank soulless eyeballs, beautiful. Are we having a moment or what? A blush spreads across his cheeks as he squeezes my hand back. Sorry. I pull my hand from his, cursing myself for staring like that. Wow, now I'm the awkward one. I look away shyly. I can feel the heat radiating from my cheeks, and I imagine him glowing bright red like a Christmas light. The thought makes my cheeks warmer, and probably even more red. He chuckles and shakes his head. Hey, there's nothing to be sorry for. He reassures me with a soft smile. He looks around for something to break the tension, and his eyes fall upon my milkshake. He fancies my milkshake now. But you ain't having it! Hey, I was supposed to buy you something. Well, you kind of already did. I point to the box of roses. Besides, we could share this, just as long as I get the cherry. Deal? I scoot the milkshake towards him. He looks to the side, reaching over to take it. Man, our first date and you're the one buying. I'm very terrible at this. Well, how about you buy next time? His eyes go wide and he stares at me with surprise.
Next time? You want to meet up again?
He just decides to speak. Well, this wasn't a total disaster, right? So yeah. His face glows as red as I imagined mine had, and he stammers widely as all of his thoughts unexpectedly evaporate in an explosion of joy. I'm wondering if I'm like glitching it out, like he's always meant to speak, but I'm using the enter button to like skip to the next dialogue. Maybe that's stuffing it up. Maybe if I click or something, let's find out. No, he's not saying anything. I don't know. I don't know then. I don't know why he speaks randomly then doesn't. I think this game's still getting worked on. It's not completely finished, so it could be that. I mean, I guess it wasn't. I mean, I don't think so, but I don't want to argue with you. It was cute seeing him struggle for a coherent thought while also trying to contain his happiness. His happiness of being with me, of all people. Still, as much as I was enjoying his company, and regardless of how flattering it has been, I couldn't stay long. I look out the window in a bit of an exaggerated way in order to get his attention. It's getting dark. I don't like walking home alone late at night. How about we continue this on our next date? He's going to ask us to walk home! Obviously. Standing up from my seat, I pull out one of the napkins from the dispenser. Do you have a pen? Oh, I think I do. He pulls out one from his pocket and hands it to me. I write down my name and number and, smiling, pass the pen and napkin back to him. Here, call me and we can hang out again soon, okay? Taking pen and napkin from my hand, he gazes down at the number in complete awe before looking back up to me. Because everyone just carries a pen. I suppose if you're going on a date, maybe you should come equipped with a pen. Because the moments like that could happen, you know? Of course, I'd love to see you again. Right. Sure. Ayo. That's the diner, by the way. It looks fantastic. I walk to the register, pay for the shake, and with another quick look back at him, I wave and leave the diner. I'm surprised he didn't ask to walk us home. Very surprised. I walk more quickly to try and make it back to the apartment before nightfall. It gets colder outside, but for some reason, I feel warm the whole walk back. God, this person's really digging this dude. Even though I keep saying, and even though we know it's gonna get all sorts of strange. Once I'm finally back in my apartment, I quietly walk to my room so that I don't disturb my roommate. Judging by the thumping and moaning sounds coming from the other side of the wall, they seem to be having another study session. They must be learning a lot! I don't bother to turn the lights in my room and flop heavily on my bed, face first into the mattress, limbs spread wide. Letting out a long, loud groan that made the couple next door pause for a brief moment, I eventually roll onto my back and stare up at the ceiling. Dang, she's living in a wafer-thin wafer. Despite having so many other things in my mind earlier, my thoughts never stray far from ball bag. That's all she could ever think about. Looking over to the box that was still in my hand, I open it up one more time. I pull out the bundled roses and smiling a little, drawing their sweet fragrance again. Alright, they actually enjoyed all that. I hope he calls soon. Whoa, okay, she already wants to ring a ding-a-ling-a-ling. Alright. Dang, so that was like a completely different ending? Like it's day one, but we can do so many different things. Okay, so at the park, I just said da-de-dot-dot. Let's see what happens here. The discomfort in silence only grows, still unsure and confused by the situation. I couldn't find words. It was just so sudden. He seemed to take the hint and pulls his hand away from mine. Looking away, he chuckles awkwardly. Hey, I get it. If you don't want me to be your boyfriend, I just thought I'd take the chance to ask you out. If he is guilt-tripping me, he is doing a terrible job, but at least he is taking the hint rather than pushing it. Well, it's just that I don't even know you, so... Don't worry, I get it. Even though he totally doesn't get it, because he just went up to me and called me your flipping boyfriend. I suppose I'd be a little weirded out too if some random stranger came up and asked me out on a date and called them your boyfriend or girlfriend or your friend. Flattered, but still a little uneasy. He has taken the rejection well. No tantrum or pressure of any sort. Thank God. I'd better get going then. It was nice talking to you though. He says, looking back over to me and giving a smile before getting himself up off the bench and taking his leave. Alrighty then. I watch him walk off. Feeling sort of terrible for how things ended the way they did. Maybe I'll apologise to him if I ever see him again. Okay, and we're probably going to see him now in the flower shop. So yeah, that's going to lead to a whole different thing. I'm loving all these different routes though, I gotta say. I stay in the park a little while longer. After that odd event, I didn't know if I should go after him or just shake it off and enjoy the rest of my afternoon. Okay, right, here we go. It's kind of been the same up until this point, which is really weird, but for now, Let's still go for the different options, see if things change. The dialogue was mostly the same dialogue as when we pushed him away at the park and didn't really want to know him or anything. Maybe I am overreacting. I guess that's understandable. I mutter. It's difficult for me to notice people when I'm walking the same path almost every day, like a mindless robot. I guess that I can't really judge him for my lack of awareness. Look, I have to get going, I say, breaking the silence between the two of us. He clears his throat to muster up his courage. As he steps closer, hesitates on a question for a brief moment, and then finally speaks. I know you have no interest in me, and I get that, but can I at least see you again? Not on a date or anything, but just to hang out. I feel as though we got off to a bad start. Why? I don't even know your name. My name? It's a joke, really. I much prefer if you made a nickname for him. We gotta give him another name? How about Freddy Fazbear? You seem pleased with what I come out with. Yeah, that sounds much better. I looked outside the window and see that the sun is getting low. Well, it's getting dark. I had better get going home. It was nice to meet you, Freddy Fazbear. I turned to leave the shop. Hey, wait. Freddy Fazbear calls out to me. I turned to see him smiling sheepishly. Can I at least walk you home? Oh, okay. No, I'll be fine, I suppose. Well, I thought he would have asked that in the diner, which is really weird he didn't, so we're just going to take it up here. He tries to keep a cool composure as I accept this offer, but I could see in his eyes that he is struggling not to bounce all over the walls. I know that he still has a thing for me, but this time around, he wasn't pushing it and was instead respecting my not wanting to date. He glances at the rose that he still has in his hands, which are not bleeding now, by the way. My mind goes blank for a second before I find myself nodding. Thanks. You don't have to, though. No, I insist. He smiles and walks me to the cashier. He pulls out a wallet and thumbs through some small bills while the florist wraps the rose and places it in a stark white box. With the rose purchased, he hands the box to me, so he still gets us the rose. Shall we get going? Yeah, let's. I leave the store with him, and together, we walk to my apartment. Is this gonna lead to our study session? The walk is surprisingly nice, and the two of us go back and forth in conversation. Freddy Fazbear, surprisingly, did most of the talking. He kept going on about his job as a product tester and how most of his products were cheap junk. That sounds like Freddy's. That sounds like the Fazbear Corporation. It does, all cheap garbage. Once we arrive at my apartment, Freddy Fazbear looks down at me and tucks his head into his pockets. Oh, hi there, Freddy. You're looking oh so animatronic. I love it. Well, home sweet home. He grins shyly. We stand in the hallway, neither of us knowing exactly what to say next. I started hearing faint sounds of my roommate and their study partner messing around inside. Freddy Fazbear hears them too, and his eyes get a bit wide. Because they already weren't wide, apparently. I mutter, insistent to open the door in front of him. Understanding my reluctance to go inside from both my presumptuous roommate and my insecurity of having a total stranger outside my apartment, he stepped away to give me a little space. Well, I better get going then. When did you want to meet up? I mean, when you get the time. I think for a minute. Oh, I work all day this week, not a single day off to my name. I don't know. Tomorrow's a slow day since it's Sunday. You could come over if you'd like. It's that small mom and pop diner by the record store. Huh. Having me pose as a customer to extend your break time. Devious. I like it. Oh my god, I don't like that face though. He flashes a weird smile before turning and walking down the hall. I'll be there tomorrow around noon then. He looks over his shoulder, smiles and waves as he saunters further down the hallway and towards the exit. Goodness me, that grin. That is a grin for things to come, I'm sure. It really is. Holy eggin' moly. Everything was quiet at my apartment except for the rummaging sound of my roommate's study partner in the kitchen. We must be learning a lot. Dang, though. That's the end of that. I think we covered all the options there. I know it's going to get weirder. I've already kept saying it during this video, but it is. This guy's going to become way more like of a stalker, way more like of a yandere kind of character. I bet he gets really attached a bit. He gets really clingy, and when we don't do certain things, he gets like really angry, and he just gets even more strange. I could see it happening. It's just going to get very odd. Very, very odd, and I want to see it. And I bet day 2 has got just so much more strangeness going on, man. I bet it does. But for now, we're not allowed to play it. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the dev doesn't want us to check it out for a YouTube video, for a Let's Play. I guess until he lets us check it out. So until then, we're going to end it here, guys. If you enjoyed this and want to see more of whatever the heck else we do around here, you know what to do.